History is often portrayed as a clash of ideologies, nations, and political leaders. However, beneath the surface of these grand narratives lies a more subtle yet pervasive force shaping the course of events: corporate power. Throughout the 20th and 21st centuries, multinational corporations, driven by the pursuit of profit and expansion, have played a significant, often hidden role in instigating, financing, and profiting from wars and revolutions. This essay will delve into the shadowy world of corporate influence on political violence, examining how corporations have manipulated governments, fueled conflicts, and reshaped the geopolitical landscape for their benefit. From the banana republics of Central America to the oil-rich fields of the Middle East, the fingerprints of corporate interests can be found on countless instances of political upheaval and armed conflict. By understanding the mechanics of corporate influence, we can begin to unravel the complexities of modern warfare and develop a more nuanced understanding of the forces that shape our world. This exploration will expose the hidden hand of corporate power, shedding light on the often overlooked connection between economic interests and political violence. The pursuit of profit knows no geographical boundaries, and neither does the reach of corporate influence. From the fruit companies that toppled governments in Latin America to the oil giants that have shaped the destiny of entire regions, corporations have demonstrated a remarkable ability to influence political decisions, often at the expense of human rights, democracy, and peace. By examining specific historical examples, we can begin to grasp the extent to which corporate interests have intertwined with global politics, shaping the course of wars and revolutions for their own gain. The consequences of unchecked corporate power extend far beyond the boardrooms and stock exchanges where profits are tallied. The human cost of corporate-influenced conflicts is immeasurable, measured in the lives lost, communities shattered, and environments devastated. By understanding the dynamics of corporate influence, we can begin to hold these powerful actors accountable for their role in perpetuating violence and instability around the world. The term banana republic speaks volumes about corporate influence. The United Fruit Company dominated the banana industry in Central America. Its economic clout translated into significant political power. The company used bribery, lobbying, and paramilitary force to secure favorable conditions. This exploitation came at the expense of local populations. In 1954, the US-backed coup in Guatemala ousted Jacobo Arbenz Guzman. It serves as a cautionary tale about unchecked corporate power. The quest for oil, the lifeblood of modern industrial economies, has been a major driver of geopolitical conflicts throughout the 20th and 21st centuries. Multinational oil corporations, with their vast resources and insatiable thirst for black gold, have played a pivotal role in shaping the political landscape of oil-rich regions, particularly the Middle East. From the Anglo-Persian oil companies' early dominance in Iran to the contemporary influence wielded by giants like ExxonMobil and Chevron, oil corporations have exerted significant influence on government policies, military interventions, and regional power dynamics. The close relationship between oil corporations and Western governments, particularly the United States, has often blurred the lines between corporate interests and national security objectives. The pursuit of energy security, driven by the need to secure access to vital oil supplies, has led to a foreign policy that prioritizes the interests of oil corporations, often at the expense of democratic principles and regional stability. The history of the Middle East is replete with examples of Western interventions, often justified on the grounds of combating terrorism or promoting democracy, that have ultimately served to protect oil interests and maintain favorable conditions for Western oil corporations. The 1953 Iranian coup d'etat, which overthrew the democratically elected government of Mohammad Mossadegh, is a prime example of how oil interests have intertwined with geopolitical machinations. Mossadegh's attempt to nationalize the Iranian oil industry, then controlled by the British-owned Anglo-Iranian Oil Company, was met with swift and decisive action by Western powers. The United States and the United Kingdom, fearing the loss of access to Iranian oil and the potential spread of Soviet influence, orchestrated a coup that installed the pro-Western Shah Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, who promptly returned control of the oil industry to foreign companies. The 1953 coup had far-reaching consequences for Iran and the entire Middle East. It sowed the seeds of resentment towards the West, fueled anti-Western sentiment, and ultimately contributed to the 1979 Iranian Revolution, which brought to power an Islamic republic deeply suspicious of Western intentions. The legacy of foreign intervention in pursuit of oil continues to cast a long shadow over the region, fueling instability, conflict, and anti-Western sentiment. Beyond bananas and oil, corporate influence extends into numerous other conflicts around the globe. From the arms industry fueling wars to pharmaceutical companies impacting health policies, the reach of corporate power is vast and multifaceted. This pervasive influence often operates behind the scenes, shaping decisions and outcomes in ways that are not immediately visible to the public. Understanding the full scope of corporate involvement in global conflicts requires a critical examination of the economic incentives driving these powerful entities. By doing so, we can begin to recognize the patterns of exploitation and manipulation that characterize corporate behavior in the context of political violence. It is essential to hold corporations accountable for their actions and to advocate for greater transparency and regulation to curb their influence on global politics. Only then can we hope to mitigate the harmful impacts of corporate power and work towards a more just and equitable world. The journey of uncovering corporate influence in political violence is not just about understanding the past, but also about shaping a future where economic interests do not override human rights and democratic values. By shining a light on these hidden dynamics, we can empower individuals and communities to demand change and challenge the status quo.